fruit of that, the results where people just say, I feel like I have some folks that I can lean on now. And when I'm hurting, I can go to them. And when they're not doing well, they can come to me. And it wasn't easy at first, but it feels like we're onto something, and it's honest, and it's real, and I feel like for the first time, people actually know me. There's a quote I want to share. I think just kind of speaks to this idea of community. A little bit of a disclaimer. It comes from this bandwagon Christian book, and if that weirds you out or makes me uncool, I will say that I didn't finish the book. Just trying to please everyone. It actually comes from page 11, which is before the first chapter. So, just trying to be really awesome. But joking aside, I actually think it's pretty brilliant. A guy named Paul Young wrote a book called The Shack. He wrote it for his family. He made 15 copies at an Office Depot in Washington State, and the book has now sold more than 20 million copies. So clearly some people liked it and probably finished it. But Paul Young writes, most of our hurts come through relationships, and so will our healing. Grace rarely makes sense for those looking in from the outside. Most of our hurts come through relationships, and so will our healing. Grace rarely makes sense for those looking in from the outside. So, I don't know about you. I don't know your story. I don't know where the hard stuff came from, but for me, the stuff that hurts, the stuff that haunts me, the moments I get stuck in, it's because there's other people in those equations. And maybe it's the loss or the end of something, maybe it's the end of a relationship, maybe it's me walking away from someone and the weight or the guilt that comes with that. And yet what the book suggests, what the quote suggests, is that maybe our healing comes not when we give up on people, not when we give up on friends or love or trust, but maybe healing actually happens when you let people know you and know those parts of you. And let people, invite people to process that stuff with you, to meet you in your questions. And I'll close with this. I don't show up trying to impress you with the story of this nonprofit that kind of happened by accident and took off, and it's cool, and they sold a bunch of t-shirts and know some bands. That guy's excited. So my hope is not to impress you with that. It's not to impress you with the story of a girl back home or my own story. Incredibly excited in college. My focus, I have the ADD. The ADD. The hope in this, and the reason in the grand finale is, it's a privilege to say, what if we could press pause on him at this moment? He's like the it's part of the conspiracy. He's like the sabotage. That was nice. Okay, so we're gonna have attention, like the 30-second countdown. Just the idea that everyone in the room is living a story. And you're living a story that's entirely unique, and nobody else can play your part, nobody else can be you. You're living a story that's priceless, that's sacred. And there's all these things that make you who you are. And some of it's really painful, some of what has happened to you, some of what you've lived through, maybe it's the weight of choices that you've made. We all have this stuff that kind of haunts us and doesn't seem to go away. And in the face of that, we have this stuff that we love and makes us come alive. These people and places and songs and books and movies and who you have a crush on this week or this month. Like, these things that make us alive, right? Like, make us smile, and all of it, the worst of it, the best of it, like the pain of the past and the hope for what your dreams are. You deserve people who remind you that you're living a story that matters. And remind you that you're living a story that's worth fighting for, and remind you not to give up on your story. And then what a cool thing that we get the privilege of having friends and being friends, or being a friend in this life. And we get to remind our friends that they're living a story. And they don't have to go alone and not to give up. And I'm gonna leave you with a video. We launched a campaign that was only supposed to be something for this summer, and it kind of took off and became something that people kind of got excited about. And it's called Fears versus Dreams, and it's just rooted in these two questions. And it's a short video. There's going to be a photographer over there, and if you want to participate, if you want to write down your answers and hold up your answers to these two questions, we've had people all across the country at gas stations and Starbucks and the Grand Canyon, other college campuses. We've had people share their answers to these two questions. What's your biggest fear? What's your greatest dream? And my hope is just that you go away and just remember that you're living a story. It matters. You're not alone. And your story deserves other characters.